Madison Cawthorn has issued an ominous threat or maybe an ominous warning, depending on how you interpret what he said this week on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast. You see, Madison Callthorne, as I'm sure everybody's aware by now, is involved in a bitter legal battle to prevent the state of North Carolina from even determining whether or not he's allowed to be on the ballot this year. And after the North Carolina State Board of Elections argued in court this week in a filing that they do have the authority to kick him off the ballot should the need arise, Cawthorn goes on Steve Bannon's podcast and says this: "This is only going to lead to one place if you want to try and take the right of the people away to be able to vote for their elected official. This is going down a very dangerous path." Now, this is only going to lead to one place. A dangerous path, he says. And this is what media outlets think is either the threat or, of course, depending on how you're interpreting it, the warning. So for a little bit more context, let me keep reading what he had to say. "They're specifically arguing that I engaged in insurrection or incited some kind of violence here on January 6th. Now, as you know, I was very proud to go speak at the Stop the Steal rally. I was very proud to debate on behalf of Wisconsin and try and block the electors in that state. And apparently that, even though it's a constitutionally protected right for me to do that as a congressman from North Carolina, they're saying that disqualifies me. But unfortunately, we're going to have to fight it. We'll probably go to the North Carolina Supreme Court, and if they shockingly rule against us, and they're actually just these liberal activists like we suspect they are, then we're probably going to have to take this case all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and it's going to be one hell of a ride." Now, I gotta say, that doesn't exactly sound violent, right? So I don't know that this was a threat more than it was a warning, right? You know, this is going down a dangerous path. And of course, from the context, and trust me, I'm not trying to defend Madison Cawthorn, but from the context, it does almost seem like, hey, this is a dangerous path. If you take away the right of the people to choose their, elected official, that's dangerous. And of course, it would be dangerous if we didn't have protections in place to make sure that dangerous people didn't get elected. So I don't care if it's a threat or a warning. It has no basis in the Constitution of the United States. We have that provision, Article 3 of the 14th Amendment, for a reason: to prevent individuals who have actively engaged in or encouraged an overthrowing of the U.S. government from holding office. That's the kind of people that throughout history we realized, you know what, probably not a good idea to have them in Congress, in the Senate, in the White House, anywhere really, because they clearly hate the United States government. That's what it is. So all these media outlets that are out there kind of pushing this as a big threat, I don't think it's a threat. I do think it's a warning. And of course, I'm sure some of his supporters might view this as a call to violence, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not in their heads, never hope to be. But it is what it is. And Madison Cawthorn, you're right. You're in for one hell of a ride, because things aren't looking so great for you right now. Especially not after Mitch McConnell came out this week and described the events of January 6th as a, quote, violent insurrection. Those words coming from the Senate Minority Leader could weigh heavily on the decision of this state elections board there in North Carolina. Here's the thing, it all comes down to, and I've said this plenty of times, but I have to reiterate it just so everybody understands, it all comes down to whether or not what happened on January 6th gets classified as an insurrection. If it was, then we have to take a look at what Cawthorn said, what he did, does it rise to the level covered by the 14th Amendment? But if it doesn't, if they say, no, it actually wasn't an insurrection or even an attempted insurrection, then all of this doesn't matter and the case immediately gets thrown out. So the big question that the legal system is going to have to decide first and foremost is whether or not what happened on January 6th would be classified as an insurrection. Your opinion of it doesn't matter. My opinion of it doesn't matter. All that matters is what those courts decide. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.